Since slavery, black people have been categorized, separated, and divided. The light-skins were the house niggas that were close to massa, while the dark-skins were the field niggas picking cotton. This division and separation may have started over 200 years ago, but unfortunately impacts our people still today. The white man taught us to hate ourselves, that we are less than, that the more white you are like the light-skinned niggas, the better. The more closer you are to massa, the status you have over the dark-skinned niggas.
I don't know, maybe you can look back, even back to the slave days where the closer that you were to being white, the better you were. And I think that just over time it's just been passed down to think that the lighter you are, the better.
We wonder why it's so hard for black people to come together. We have wounds that are getting covered up with Band-Aids instead of getting healed. The wounds are the self-hate, the separation, and the low self-esteem. The Band-Aids are the division, the status, and the materialism. The division of light skin versus dark skin may have started with slavery, but still is an issue to the black community today. We're subconsciously and ignorantly dividing our people and making and creating two races within a race. We place these stigmas on our black women. How the light-skinned women are the pretty girls with long hair, with the more European features, while we stereotype dark-skinned women as more rough, loud, and with have nappy hair. We place a stigma on light-skinned men that they were more sensitive, the pretty boys, more feminine.
People see me as vain, which may be true because I care about the way that I dress and I care about the way that I look. I take pride in it. And I don't walk as if I don't know who I am. Even though, identity is something that I'm constantly finding. People see me as someone who has a wide spectrum of women to choose from, which means that I got hoes. And that's not true. Just because, a lot of women may like the way I look or like how I carry myself does not mean I'm entertaining every single one of them.
Well, the dark-skinned men are manly, strong, and tough.
Because I personally see that people with darker complexions in general are not as valued. It kind of makes me value them more. So that is why I prefer dark-skinned men.
I've noticed often while attending an HBCU and being in the black community a system of status, of authority, self-entitlement, power within organizations.
Some join organizations for status, to kind of be better known around campus and to be popular.
That's what most of the people join organizations for, is the clout and notoriety, wanting to be seen on campus. There's a very select few that join organizations for, the reasons they're supposed to join organizations.
Subconsciously, we are dividing ourselves to mask our self-hate with the idea of status and name. We're getting filled up with the title that we have while we look down on others who are not on our level or in our organization. We are often taught that our org is the best, that our church is the best, making me the best. But if I'm the best, what makes everybody else?
They get this sense of, I have something you don't have, so I must be better than you. And that's basically how orgs change people.
Sometimes in organizations it's possible that people might get a little big-headed and they kind of become the organization more than they are an individual.
Instead of working together and help one another, we go against each other and compete. We gain this status, and then we think we have an entitlement. The entitlement to be mean to others because they're not in our orgs and not like us. To look down on others instead of uplifting.
Well, I'm not Greek, but I am in Collegiate 100, and I didn't need it. Nobody needs it. It's an identity. It's an identity fulfillment that you get, that you gain. And even the person that is probably not directly impacted by the influences of the organization, it changes them in a way because you're now in an environment of people that may have, gotten into the organization for selfish reasons. Bad company corrupts good morals. And if you're hanging around with guys or young ladies that joined the organization because they wanted clout and status, what does that make you?
It's good, Dwight. We get lost in the sauce, not realizing what we are becoming. The enemy, like the white man who slaved us. And with status comes a price. With price comes materialism and wealth, which leads to the issue of materialism. The issue of buying things we can't afford to impress people we don't even like. Separating ourselves from the niggas that can't afford the Jordans or the girls who can't afford the $500 Malaysian hair. We're buying, and buying, spending, and spending to ourselves, self-esteem and ego. Using the idea of materialism to mask self-hate instead of fixing the broken wounds to heal.
Black people in general are they feel the need to compete with each other, or as long as they're doing better or looking better than the next person, then they are at least perceived to be better. So if it means buying things that they can't afford to show that, then that's what they do.
Black people buy things they can't afford because they're preparing for the day when they can't afford it, or they're trying to look as if they're trying to prove something. When we were enslaved as a people, everything was about competition against each other. So it's not the black man trying to compete against the white man or trying to be like the white man, but it's trying to one-up our counterparts of the same skin color. It's normal. It's a survival method. If you look like you got money, we automatically think that puts us in a better position to gain more. But we waste our money on these things because we think that it matters. We think that it adds value to who we are as people. But the tangible items have no particular value. In fact, they take away from who you are as a person, because then you get caught up in what it looks like and how it makes you look, and you lose yourself. So
We have these wounds, and we mask them with division, materialism, and status. The only way to heal these wounds is love, unity, and empowerment.
if this precaution is not made, okay, disclaimer. Anything that is not who you first and foremost are, which is hopefully, I pray you're a woman or man of God. Anything outside of that has potential to be an idol, has potential to be the identity that you value more than who you are in Christ and who you are in your faith.
If we come together with the idea of love and unity, our black people, our community can be stronger than ever. The only way we can love is the love that God loved us, selflessness, by bringing Jesus Christ to die for humanity. If we act on the same love that Jesus acted on us, maybe we can heal these broken wounds that are inside of us.